Today we're going to be taking a look at this camp heater we got from our mystery SHTF box. So, when we first got this, I was really hoping that this was going to use the propane tanks, the green ones, but it doesn't. But, let's take a quick look at it. Get it out of the container here. Now, I don't know if this is watertight, but it is water resistant because it does screw down. Just going to go over a quick look at this here. So here we have just like a hook, I guess, so you can hang it, which would work. Here we have the control for how much fuel goes out. Kind of pretty much like how hot it's going to get. And here we have our starter. Okay, so the bottle does screw onto here. Now, as I was saying, I was hoping that this would work with the propane, the little green propane bottles, but it does not. It does require an adapter for that. I reached out to CH Cadell's. They do not have the adapter for it. So wherever the adapter is, I got to find it. Probably like a sporting goods store I can find it. Like maybe Cabela's or something. Maybe online. But I want to make sure I get the right one. So I was a little bummed out about it, but I did a little further research, and apparently it does use these type of the wide cap little tanks, and you get these a little bit bigger too. I've seen these at Big Fives, where I got this one. Now, the downside is it does not use the propane tanks because I do have a lot of those. The upside is this. I got this canister with this camp stove. And so what that means is that I have two components I can use with the same canister. Now, I do still plan on getting the adapter so that I can use the regular green propane tanks, because a lot of times when those goes on sale, you can get like two of them for a lot cheaper than you get these for. These things are a lot more expensive. But at any rate, so that's enough about that. There's the container. It's a nice container. The camp stove, again, this makes this a dual usage fuel source, which is also good. They are a little bit smaller. I don't know exactly how long this is going to last, but, alright, so let's see if this thing even works here. Alright, so we're going to get this screwed on. Make sure we got it on pretty much all the way off. And then we'll screw this in. And you always want to do this outside, because in the this says outside use only. This says outside use only. But there we go. That's how it sits. Let's see here. Get a little bit closer here. So as you can see, it's pretty stable. So let's say you need to warm up. I don't know if I'd use this in a tent, but maybe if it's well ventilated enough. But let's see if this works here. As you can see, it's heating up. There's not much smell. So these burn pretty clean. Not much smell. It is putting off enough heat. Again, I don't know how long one of these canisters will last. Especially if you're switching back and forth between this and cooking. But that is putting on a lot of heat. So that's full blast. Yeah. So you can adjust it. As you can see, it does. Well, if you can't see it, but it is. You can see the reflection back in there. So this puts off some nice little heat. If you're in an enclosed area, I can see where this would work, and the fact that it doesn't put out a lot of noxious fumes. But I still would use this more outside than inside. So like if you're outside, sitting around eating your meal or whatever, you're got to warm up a little bit. This is actually pretty nice. And yeah. If it's too low, it goes out, so obviously. Full blast, and we'll put out some pretty good heat. Yeah, you can see how red that's getting in there. Alright. Alright, turn it all the way down. Shuts it off. Release the canister. Still pretty full. That is hot, so you don't want to put it away right away because I don't know how well that would melt. So you want to let it cool down for a little bit. Close up our fuel. But again, so we got this in our mystery SHTF box. That's pretty hot. I think this is a good item. I don't know if this is necessarily something that you would put in, say, like a 72-hour bag or anything, but as part of like an emergency, like say you make like a truck kit, right? Say you have like a, you know, I think this would go good with like a truck survival kit, because if you get stuck on the side of the road somewhere where it's cold, it would be nice to have something like this. And these are relatively stable to, you know, they're not. Says here, do not cancer and reproductive harm. Well, that's the California warning, because you know California says everything is cancer and reproductive warning. Self-sealing safety valve. Extremely flammable gas under pressure. Do not expose temperatures exceeding 50 degrees, 120 degrees. Keep out of reach of children. Stored in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place. Keep away from source of ignition. No smoking. Discard empty in a safe place. All the usual stuff. COVID. Do not refill. Do not use puncture, pierce, or incinerate even after use. Yeah, you know, sometimes they'll have those things where you poke a hole in it. Don't do that with these. But yeah, so complies with Department of SP. But you know, this is some, like, you know, if you're out, it'd be nice to have. Now, if you live somewhere where it gets real hot, I don't know if I keep it in your truck all the time, but let's say you're traveling somewhere, you pack this in there, you have like a truck kit, so that in case you break down, this would be a good item to have. And you know, if you're out, you know, if you let's say, you know, worst case scenario, let's say that you are in an extreme bug out situation and you do have to vacate, then one of these, you know, one or two of these with a group would be nice. You know, like, so let's say that, you know, you're actually like you're sharing equipment. Let's say it's you and your family, and you know, so you know, you're not having to carry everything for everybody, and you can each carry, you know, something that contributes to the overall group. Then I think this is a good item to pack away. It is a little bit bulky. I mean, it's not too bad, but that's going to take up a lot of room in a pack. But it doesn't weigh much. So, but you got the problem with the fuel too, because you know those are a little bit heavier. It can only carry so much. So again, kind of good for camping, truck. You know, a truck kit maybe. Long term, maybe. But as far as like just like a regular, you know, 72-hour like bug out type get home kit, I don't know if this would be practical, because it is kind of bulky. It's going to take up a lot of room in your pack, and with those types of bags, you know, it's the idea is less is more. But the fact that this canister works with the stove and the heater, I think is a plus. I mean, because now you have two items you can use the same fuel for. One to cook, one to stay warm. But great. Hey, this is for first time on the channel. Please consider subscribing, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, share this thing out. But hey, until next time, keep prepping.